So Simon, recently the Optometry Board of Australia, the OBA,
Yes.
released some new changes for the CPD requirements of optometrists starting the 1st of December 2020.
That's correct.
Is that right? Yeah. And are these CPD changes being led by Optometry Australia or OBA?
It's a good question, Sophie. So, as you stated, the regulatory body, the OBA, have introduced these changes, and these changes, as you state, will be implemented on the 1st of December 2020. So, up until then, everything stays as they are in terms of the points, the 2-year rolling period, how many points you need, all those kinds of things. The question you're asking around whether or not the OBA or OA implemented these changes, it was purely an OBA-led activity. Optometry Australia put in a written submission around that and lobbied really hard for the profession. There was also an opportunity for public consultation and for members to be able to put in their perspective as well. But APRA have decided to align the CPD requirements for optometrists with all the other professions, in line with all the other professions. And so from here on in, from December 2020, 1st of December 2020, we've already put out to members, there'll be changes from hours, points to hours, as well as from 2 years to 1 year.
Yeah, and I recall there was an email out to all optometrists asking for their opinion on impending changes early in 2018, and many of our optometrist members actually put forward their ideas and comments.
Yeah, absolutely. So many of the members put their opinions to the OBA directly, as well as to Optometry Australia, and we incorporated that in our submission. Those submissions were made available to our members. But the OBA have decided to proceed with the changes that now are being publicly provided.
And Simon, with the 20 hours,
Yes.
how much of that needs to be what we call face-to-face education?
Yeah, it's a good question. So currently, as you know, there's a requirement for some of your points to be face-to-face, and that won't change in terms of in the new CPD changes that will come in 1st of December 2020. You only need 5 of your 20 hours to be face-to-face. Now, even if you're therapeutically endorsed and you have to do 30 hours in that year, you still only need to do 5 of those 30 hours as face-to-face.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah. So it's really great for rural or time-poor optometrists that might find 20 hours of face-to-face too much. It's actually not the case.
No, absolutely not. No. Yeah. So, look, there's a lot of other resources that will be available that won't be face-to-face. So 5 hours will be, easy to obtain 5 hours of CPD across a 12-month period.
Yeah, so that sort of leads me into the next question as to what OA Optometry Australia is doing to help optometrists, all our optometrists, guide them into this new change.
Yeah, it's a good question. So in anticipation of these changes, as you know, we've been working with, we've known about these potential changes from the OBA for 12 months. We put in a written submission to the OBA voicing our opinions about these things. In anticipation to that, what we did was we determined that our members are going to need something that's really sort of going to help them through this. And so we've developed a really sort of interactive online learning platform. We're really excited to be launching that in the coming days. Essentially, this is not something that you need to start using only when the changes come in on the 1st of December 2020, but even from, when we launch next week, you'll be able to do a lot of online learning. There'll be interactive modules. You'll still be able to do pharma, all those sorts of things. The other interesting thing to note about these new changes is that when we move to hours, there's nothing in the OBA requirements that there's certainly assessment that's going to be required or you need to do assessment with all your CPD. There may still be some CPD with assessment connected to it, but ultimately most of it will depend on the hours that you do. The other thing to note is that in the current system, you had to do a minimum of 60 minutes to get 2 points for CPD. Now you'll be able to, in the new CPD changes, you'll be able to do half an hour and log that 0.5 hours as part of your CPD. So it'll be time-based, not point-based.
And I understand that other professions such as dentists and physiotherapists have all been on the hour CPD format for many years. Yeah. And is that APRA's intention, OBA's intention to sort of put optometry into sort of in line with the other professions?
Absolutely, yeah. So there aren't many professions left that are a points-based system. And APRA have chosen to align optometry with all other professions, most of the professions. In fact, some of the other professions also have more hours for therapeutically endorsed practitioners like podiatrists and nurses. So essentially what we're doing, we're sort of becoming more consistent with the other professions as well.
Thanks, Simon. That was very informative. If members have any questions about the impending CPD changes starting December 1st to 2020, please feel free to contact Optometry Australia National Office by phone or email.